About a month ago, I went to see Skinamarink in theatres, and since that day I've been unable to stop thinking about it. It says something about the internet, I think, the way this film is discussed and critiqued online, and I just want to quickly explore why. Because it seems like there are really only two ways that people tend to talk about this movie, and of course it all depends on your perspective of it. Number one, the movie was boring or too dark. You'll often see people making this sort of joke about it, that, it's as akin to staring at a corner for 100 minutes. And I just don't understand this at all. And that's not because people aren't allowed to dislike a movie that I personally enjoyed, but it's because it reveals a deep inability to accept a movie on its own terms. It says a lot about attention span and how the gradual injection of short-form media and media that is fast-paced into our media consumption, and how that's come to haunt us. Because for every criticism you could levy at the movie, that its writing is sparse and not necessarily very good, that it has an annoying commitment to structuralism, that its third act is without any proper build-up, I think calling it slow is a very weak and strange criticism to make, because it's meant to be that way. It's meant to be slow, and an inability to accept that is more telling of the viewer than of the movie. And to call it too ambiguous is another common criticism, and it's essentially to say that you are unable to make up your own interpretation of a film without a substantial amount of hand-holding. I don't understand the thought behind these criticisms, but what I really wanted to talk about with this video is the second way I think we approach this movie, and that is relentlessly overanalyzing it. Now, I got to admit, with a lot of media, I actually relentlessly overanalyze myself. Hell, I've got a long video coming out on Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared soon, that is just me trying to literalize a very metaphorical show. But the thing about Skinamarink is that certain aspects of it have been under heavy scrutiny since its release. Probably what comes to mind first is the mother figure in the film. Now, for context, the mother is a figure in the film who is very much presented as not being in the children's lives anymore, and so of course the internet has decided that she has to be dead, because nothing on the internet can ever be vague. We have to incessantly literalize everything. The same sort of problem, ironically, were present when the really good movie here, After Sun, came out. Now that movie follows a father and daughter going to a resort for the week, with the father being heavily coded to be severely mentally ill, whether depressed or otherwise. And by the end of the movie, we see a flash forward into the daughter's adult life, and he isn't present. And throughout the movie we see scenes of a rave where they're gradually separated. Now, of course, the internet has decided that this means he died. Probably a little bit more evidence, because Charlotte Wells, the director of After Sun's father, took his own life. But that being said, the film goes to great lengths to not tell us what exactly happened. We are rather meant to feel the impact that, even though he's not there, that he had on his daughter's life. My point, I guess, if there was one, is that we literalize metaphorical media very often now, because things cannot be simply explained as they are not there anymore. There has to be a reason for it, surely. And trying to force a plot onto Skinamarink is like trying to move in sleep paralysis. It's futile and pointless, and you just have to keep watching until it's over. Each subsequent sequence in the movie is only there to further your sense of terror. And, while there are some thematic elements to the film, they really just serve as a hazy way to mire your fear in reality. It's as needless to analyse the film as it is to analyse Unshin Andalou. It's not meant to have a plot, because quite frankly, there's nothing to analyse. The script of the movie, there are about 500 words of dialogue in the whole movie. This script for this video is 800 words long. That's 5 words of dialogue per minute of screen time. And the story does, or whatever story there is, does a lot in 500 words, but it and the director Kyle Edward Ball probably don't have any answers to our questions. It's better to just turn your brain off, squirm in your seat. It's the scariest door frames you've ever seen. Grow dimmer and dimmer and fade into oblivion. Sorry guys, this video got away from me a bit, but I really wanted to talk about Skinamarink basically, and how we analyse abstract art as a collective culture. But thank you guys so much for watching. There's going to be a big video out in some time. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed.